hard race. The sweat was pouring into our eyes.
We don't fit on your canvas, we burn it all to
We need to do more.
'cause we are the outlaws.
After a collision, great competition, great entertainment. What do you want more?
The second pole position qualifying session here in Dubai is about to take place. It is, of course, the final qualifying session of 2025. But far be it from closing a chapter, maybe we will be seeing the beginning of a brand new one. Will Sharjah make it 5 pole positions in a row? Maybe Victory Team will finish this season on an absolute high after being named the 2025 UIM XCAT World Champions. One thing is for sure, none of the XCAT crews will be throttling back as we head onto the water. A reminder of how the first pole position qualifying session went down here in Dubai. We had, of course, Sharjah finishing first, HPI Fujairah Racing Team in second, and Victory Team in third. Now, whilst Victory started in third, that didn't do any damage whatsoever to their championship hopes as they were leapt from third to first, and in the process, they took the World Championship. So let's see how pole position qualifying number 2 unfolds out there on the water. Yes, everybody, this is, of course, the final pole position qualifying of 2025. But it is really, really exciting because rather than being the end of something, I like to think that it's going to be the start of something new. It's hard for us not to look ahead to 2026, but we have to close the chapter on a very exciting pole position qualifying, which in and of itself could be described as a mini championship within the championship. So we've got a 30-minute session here. It is unlimited laps, but the teams cannot go back to that pontoon to change anything about their XCAT. Now, whilst this is the second pole position qualifying, we did, of course, have a first pole position qualifying and the first race here in Dubai. And to say that it was exciting, well, that is an understatement. So let's remind ourselves of what happened in Dubai yesterday. Sunset Beach is the venue for the grand finale of the 2025 UIM XCAT World Championship, and it is a super busy day of action, pole position qualifying and the very first race of this grand finale. Who will make the first move in the championship battle. Pole position qualifying in Dubai delivered the meal we were oh so hungry for. It was Victory Team heading into qualifying with the most to lose, and they led the session for a majority of the time. Vaz Marine came in with a strong qualifying pedigree, also looking to crack the top 3. But it was Sharjah, our qualifying specialists, that made it the 4th pole position of the 2025 UIM XCAT World Championship, pulling out a winning time in the last 2 laps. The first lap in Dubai was closely fought. The first 3 flew out of the starting gate, but it was Victory Team who went from 3rd to 1st in the first corner. The battle was tense throughout, and with 3 long laps, strategy was going to be key. Our top 3 were decided by the thinnest of margins, but it was boat number 7 of Victory Team who finished on the top step of the podium, winning not just the race, but the World Championship.
Top 10 radar, yeah, we on your radar. Never miss, dog, and that's on occasion. Yeah, we on your radar. Yeah. Hey, look, top floor, lifestyle, chef and boy, I'm cooking up. Way too high, ain't coming down, you'll see me if you look.
And we've had our green flag here for the 30-minute pole position qualifying session, and there is our qualifying specialists in the background as we head here on what is a very calm body of water indeed. The temperatures are still rather pleasant at a 27 degrees Celsius, but there is very little wind to speak of, particularly this time in the day here in Dubai, which means the conditions will undoubtedly be perfect for our crews as the first of the XCATs head across the timing buoys to start the timing clocks. But there we see Sharjah looking to make it 5 pole positions in a row. Just to give you an idea of timings in the first position qualifying of our race weekend here for the Grand Prix of Dubai, it was Sharjah with a 2 minutes 27.2. They averaged 152 kilometers an hour. That's 94.8 miles per hour in English. And we will see if those types of laps are going to be recreated here today. The XCAT crews are not messing around. They are out there looking to find the perfect qualifying line. And it's been a qualifying year of exceptional performances. And of course, yesterday we had the team of Victory, boat number 7, being crowned world champions. But during the qualifying session, they finished 3rd. Speaking to Isa, he confirmed that that is his favourite spot. But I'm convinced that quietly they would like to finish this year out with a top step on the podium for pole position qualifying. Vaz Marine, boat number 3 there. They have really come out of the blocks flying, particularly in qualifying. They did very well yesterday. They qualified in 4th and catching up with Francis and Arif yesterday. And they're very happy with the progress that their XCAT crew is making. And it's a testament to just how well they work together. Can they go 1, maybe 2, maybe even 3 steps further today and finish in the top 3 for qualifying? Out there with his hand strapped up. And we will see just if that impacts his ability. A crowd already gathering here in Dubai. And the first times of our qualifying session coming through now. And it is Team GB, who, to be fair, were out there first. Posting our first qualifying time is a 2:36.8, so there'll be more time in there as Victory are taking the bull by the horns here with a 2:30. We will see more and more times being posted. And as we see Q8 out there, let's see how they felt ahead of pole position qualifying today. We're about to head into the second qualifying session in Dubai. We're here with most, if not all, of Q8. How are you feeling ahead of second qualifying, Abdul Latif?
We feel comfortable, and we know our results. It will be because, as you know, comparing the 400 with the 300, there is a little different, around 6 to 8 seconds per lap. But in this condition, I think if the sea condition changing, we will reduce this gap. Yani we will make it from 4 to 3 seconds. But in this condition, it's the 400 more faster than us. But we will try our best to be in the second gate at least.
Which is what we can hope for. You're talking about the difference between the 300 and the 400. How have you found the 300 this year overall?
The 300, it's okay, but we need big waves.
Okay.
To make something good, because all the boat when big waves, the speed will be down.
And we've just come from Q8, your home Grand Prix. How was being at home? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, very happy about what happened in Kuwait.
And so, as we head to the end of 2025, how do you feel about 2026? Excited?
Yeah, it's very excited, especially when the last meeting, it was yesterday, they searching for 2 rounds in Europe, and also they said the Fujairah, it will be shifted after Ramadan and the end of March. After that, maybe we'll go to Europe, but they didn't decide until now in which country it will be the race. After that, it will be Kuwait confirmed. Then we will come back here to Dubai for the final.
Well, I, for one, am very excited to go back to Q8. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was wonderful. But, of course, before all of that, we have the second pole position qualifying. So I'll let you get on because I know you're busy. And, yeah, best of luck for qualifying.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And they are in their XCATs right now as Q8 have posted a 2:41. But there's been a plethora of action in the background here as outgoing champions, boat number 96, HPI Fujairah Racing Team, have posted a 2:28. And so the fight really is on as we head to the 1/3 mark of this qualifying session being extinguished. And the beautiful backdrop of Dubai as we enjoy what will be a hard-fought qualifying session here just off the beautiful beaches of Sunset Beach here in Dubai, with the wonderful support, of course, of the DIMC, without which we wouldn't be able to bring this wonderful championship to your screens. And if you're lucky enough to be here in person, your ears will be enjoying the feeling and the sound of these Mercury ROS 400 racing engines. But as we caught up with Q8, they of course have been running 2 Mercury ROS 300 engines as part of the championship's approach to innovation, evolution and sustainability. And we have seen some very strong performances from Boat 17 this championship. They are of course down on power compared to the rest of the pack, but that didn't dampen their competitive spirits when it came to their home Grand Prix in Q8 as they finished second in the first race. So they are out there putting a marker down right here, right now. Now, of course, the qualifying session that we are watching right now will determine the starting order and the gates, almost more importantly, for the final race here as part of the Dubai Grand Prix, where although the champions have been decided and what a way they wrapped up this championship, there are still a few other subplots that need to be decided ahead of saying goodbye to 2025, and that is, of course, the battles between second and third. Second currently occupied by 2023 champions Team GB, and hot on their heels in third is the outgoing champions of HPI Fujairah Racing Team, with Team GB on 126 points, but only 20 points behind is HPI Fujairah Racing Team. So the starting grid will play a huge part in deciding who will finish second or who will finish third, bearing in mind that a win is worth 35 points, a second place is worth 30, all the way down to third position 26. So yeah, there's some interesting stories still to be told here in the 2025 UIM XCAT World Championship. And then, of course, we have the bragging rights of who is the overall qualifying team of the year. That is currently in the hands of Sharjah, boat number 9. And as we saw in the first qualifying sessions here, that they leave it late. It can often be the last couple of laps. And last we saw, they were just getting ready to start posting their times here in Dubai. Victory Team are second with Fujairah Racing Team and third in that pole position qualifying standings. So there are still things to be decided. There is still a very strong competitive edge to our remaining action today and tomorrow, as the top three stand as we break into the remaining 20 minutes here. It is HPI Fujairah Racing Team in first. A whisker behind, 100th of a second, is Team GB. They really want to give themselves the best shot at stealing second. Faz Marine in third. Victory Team in fourth. I wonder how they're feeling in the cockpit. They, of course, crowned champions for 2025. Isa Al-Ali and Salim Al-Adidi, they were champions way back in 2017. They have now grabbed their second championship as a pairing, and the 7th overall for Victory, which is one heck of a statement of intent. Swecat are in 5th, Kuwait in 6th, and Energima are out there in 7th. We caught up with Marit yesterday, talking us through the evolution of that boat 55 and how they are progressing towards what will hopefully be a much bigger 2026. But so much of building a campaign is done in steps, not in jumps. You can't just lower yourself into an XCAT cockpit and dream into the podium places. It really does take time for this team sport to bring trophies. And we can see that across the entire grid as the building process for some teams began in 2025, and Energima are one of those teams where they have been easing themselves into the championship. But the XCAT is a very fast thing in a straight line, and then it's about fine-tuning for the corners. As you can see, HPI Fujairah Racing Team right on the ragged edge of the limit there. Just looking a little rough at the back end of the course. We've got a little bit of chop at the back there, so they'll be hoping for a nice smooth corner. No hooks into that boy. But you can see now they're scrubbing the pace off. They might have decided that actually this isn't going to be the one for them. And yeah, they have backed right off there, hopefully deciding that it's not for them rather than any kind of issue. So right off the power there in that Doug Wright hull, American-made hull. They're off to the muster area, just waiting for their next opening to head out onto the race circuit, because they have put in a very hot lap here, a 2:27.6. That is a very fast time, akin to what we saw the fastest times being in our first qualifying session. Team GB still sat in second, Faz Marine in third, Francis Nocella at the wheel, possibly down one thumb. He suffered a bit of an injury during the race yesterday, somehow carried on. Just goes to show what adrenaline does. A real battler from Belgium, and Arif Al Safain, incredibly experienced in that cockpit as well on the throttle. So keep an eye out for them in what is remaining of 2025, but I'd say that they're definitely worth keeping an eye on in 2026. As Victory Team post a 2:28.4 and jump to second position as we head to the halfway mark of qualifying here in Dubai. So the outgoing champions currently in pole position, but Sharjah are entering the fray. Sean Tarenti and Mikhail Kitashev. It's always good to catch up with that crew. We spoke to Sean yesterday, and his deep knowledge of racing is something that we can all learn from. It's really good to have a chat about racing with the American, and they have got qualifying down to a fine art here as XCAT start to do battle with the waves. Of course, they had that massive crash in Kuwait. You never want to see a crash, but if you head over to the XCAT World Championships YouTube, you can watch the highlights program from Kuwait, where you can see quite a different perspective on what it is like when one of these things go wrong. Luckily, everybody walked away, and even more so, they managed to patch up the boat ahead of this championship round here in Dubai. A massive achievement for all involved. Kuwait as well, who they collided with, also managing to get their Faz Marine hull together and back out onto the water. As XCAT look to build back towards the front as the time begins to tick as they go through those two checkered timing buoys here just off the beach. It's a wonderful promenade along here. Sunset Beach, Kite Beach, just a wonderful place to wander around and take in the sights and sounds of this part of the city of Dubai. It's a wonderful place to be. That muster area now starting to look really busy as everybody's just hanging on and waiting to see how it goes. So just a reminder, HPI Fujairah Racing Team currently in the driving seat of our last pole position qualifying session of 2025. Victory Team, our new world, obviously making changes all the time, and whatever changes they've made over the course of the night and the evening and this morning after practice is working. Faz Marine in fourth, where they sat yesterday. Good performance from that Faz Marine made hull. It's so quick in the corners. That's where you really got to watch them. And Sharjah are currently sat in fifth. This is really the playbook from Sharjah. They do this consistently. They ease their way into qualifying, getting as close, look at that, just hovering above the waterline there. And so much of putting in a strong performance is a mix of engineering know-how and a strong understanding of physics, because the general dynamic of these circuits change. We can't ask the water to stop moving, and so every time these crews go out and do a lap, their race circuit changes. It's such a fine art. And there, Sharjah flying through the course. They are currently occupying 5th spot in our lineup. XCAT not that far behind in 6th, Energima in 7th, and Q8 in 8th. We are probably not going to see Mate USA of Gianpaolo and Alberto, but hopefully we can see them in the race itself, which is tomorrow, the curtain call of our UIM XCAT World Championship for 2025. And we know our champions already. It is that boat there, boat number 7. Not resting on their laurels at all. They are out to finish with a flurry. They want fireworks to close out their championship winning season. No doubt the Victory Team stable already looking at just a couple of degrees on those Mercury ROS racing engines just make all the difference. It's all about where those key points on an XCAT break the waterline, more or less being subject to the water. XCAT now looking to break into the top 5. They're currently in 6th position. 8 minutes remaining. That's realistically 3 strong laps, probably only 2, and that's where Sharjah start to come into play. XCAT's clock ticking as they fly past the Energima boat 55, hailing from Norway, just over the border from Sweden, which is where boat number 2 call home. Sebastian Groth and Mikael Benson in there. They always run and hide when I come with my microphone, but they're always so gracious with their time. But this is why they're here. They are here to race. They are here to compete. As the ability to cut more and more time gets harder and harder, Victory are just trying to break the backs of boat number 96 and grab that top spot, as Sharjah looking to make it 5 pole positions in a row. They're just bouncing, hovering. They're on a 2:23, 24, 25, 26, 27. They might go quicker than their previous time, and they have. They have broken into the top 3, which now consists of HPI Fujera Racing Team in 1st, Victory Team, boat number 7 in 2nd, and now our qualifying experts in 3rd. That pushes Team GB to 4th, Faz Marine to 5th, XCAT in 6th, Energima in 7th, and Q8 in 8th. As Team GB fly for another go at qualifying. When Team GB won their 2023 World Championship, qualifying was not their strong suit, but they always came good with race pace. XCAT flying and drifting around that boy. They would have scrubbed a lot of time off with that. You really want to try and turn on a sixpence, but not all XCATs are made equal, and you need to choose how you want to set your cat up before heading out. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. They've scrubbed the speed off there, sliding around there, much like you see on land. And just, you can just see the balance and the poise, just how hard they will be fighting their XCAT to try and keep it under control. They remain in 6th, their times not being bettered as it stands. And they have throttled right back here as we are entering the final 5 minutes of qualifying. That's maybe 2 strong laps from our cast of XCAT crews. And that's all that is needed as Victory Team fly through the timing, boys, and sit on top of our times They are 200ths of a second now ahead of boat number 96, HPI Fujairah Racing Team. This crew are going for it here. They want to finish with a bang. So Victory Team and Fujairah Racing Team swap positions, but Sharjah will be wanting to say something about it. They're not going to beat the time here now. They've got a couple of laps left to finish their year as they started. So our world champions for 2025 in first, our world champions for 2024 in second, Sharjah, who are leading our pole position qualifying stats for the year, in third, Team GB, our 2023 world champions, in fourth, Faz Marine in fifth, XCAT in sixth, Energima in seventh, and Q8 in eighth. And they are flying out there in the Dubai sun. XCAT are not done yet. You can see those Mercuries hanging on for dear life on the mounts. Always a bit of a sketchy moment, because it is sometimes where we can see a failure is on that mounting housing there. But so far so good here in Dubai. No problems to speak of. Sebastian Groth and Mikael Benson there building their season together. Be an interesting one next year for them. And they're on a 2:34, so they're not going to better their time. Wonderful imagery there. And just keeping it remarkably steady, actually. We don't talk an awful lot about ballast, but it has so much to play where you position your weight. Of course, these XCATs have to be 2,400 kilograms, so there is a bit of a game to be played with the ballast, where you put it, whether you want to move it around those two hull segments that make up our catamarans here. So there's just so much that goes into these before they even hit the water. But as you can see, Victory beautifully flat, poised, just enough of the bow out of the water so it reduces friction and drag. And it's remarkably hard to see out of those things as our current pole position leaders fly into our 2 remaining minutes here. Sharjah just scrubbing 100ths of a second off their time. If they're going to do it, it's got to be now. HPI Fujairah Racing Team back out there. They're currently in second. The outgoing world champions. They love it here. They won their championship here last year. And they are again hoping to end with a flourish. Fujairah, one of the Emirates that make up the United Arab Emirates. We usually visit for our opening rounds. We did so this year. It looks odds on that we will do next year. And they are a competitive brother team in there. And they're going for it here. They've got realistically one more lap before the checkered flag comes out. We're into the final 30 seconds here of qualifying for the final pole position session of the 2025 UIM XCAT World Championship. And they look to have throttled down, but you know, in racing, if it looks slow, it's usually fast. And they are looking to just push themselves up the standings. They've just got one more step on that podium. They've done 5 laps. The time is up. The checkered flag will be waved, and it is so. XCAT fly through. They will not better their time here. As the final seconds tick down for our XCAT crews out there, it's Victory Team World Champions in first. HPI Fujairah Racing Team World Champions for 2024 in second, Sharjah in third, Team GB in fourth, Faz Marine in fifth, XCAT in sixth, Energima in seventh, and Kuwait in eighth. Team GB not relenting here. They are thinking about their championship standing because at the moment it is check for Fujairah Racing Team, but will it be checkmate? And the time continues to tick down. The checkered flag has been waved. And the last few seconds tick down for that boat number there, boat number 8. It's actually very, very fast. Is it going to be fast enough? No. They log a 2:28, remarkably quicker than yesterday's session, so they can take confidence that their setup will be far more competitive when it comes to race day. They sit in fourth as HPI look to complete their laps. They're having to smash through the draft left by Team GB. They're in second, 2:27.6. This is their final opportunity of qualifying. It's their final opportunity of the year. They've slowed right down, and I don't blame them because they are on a 2:47. They're nowhere near it. It'll be a leisurely cruise across the timing boys here for Giuseppe and Rosario. But a second position as it stands. Sharjah are also taking a leisurely stroll back to the timing boys. And so that is our final qualifying session of the 2025 UIM XCAT World Championship. And we have the World Champions Victory Team, boat number 7 in first position. But look how close that was run by the outgoing world champs of HPI Fujairah Racing Team with a 2:27.6, just 0.02 of a second between them. And the theme of close racing and qualifying continues as Sharjah just shy in the top 3 once again. Team GB just 0.06 of a second. We're still just talking seconds as well in fourth. Faz Marine in fifth, of sterling effort. XCAT in sixth, Energima in seventh, Kuwait in eighth, and Mate USA didn't manage to make it to the water. They've been struggling with their engineering side of things, but expect to see them in the race. And a reminder, as if we needed it, of how our World Championship standings look as we head into the final race of 2025. It is Victory Team, unassailable lead. They are our world champions. They will be crowned. Team GB in second. And look how close they are to HPI Fujairah Racing Team. It is going to be one heck of a battle tomorrow between those two. And Kuwait still mathematically in with a chance of finishing third. Sharjah in fifth. Oh, where they may have finished if it wasn't for mechanical issues. XCAT in sixth. Energima in seventh. Faz Marine in eighth. Mate USA in ninth, and we did see Blue Banker hit the water when we first started out in Fujairah. So as we look ahead to 2025's final race here in Dubai tomorrow, we still have many questions to be answered, but from me that is signing off for qualifying for the year. What a wonderful set of qualifying we have had, and our final top qualifiers are our world champions. They are Victory. And we will see you tomorrow for the final race of 2025.
It was a very hard race. The sweat was pouring into our eyes.
Power isn't special. We don't fit on your canvas. We burn it all to
We need to do more.
'cause we are the outlaws.
competition, great entertainment. What do you want more?